Where I summarized the difference between hospital, birth center, and home birth, I wasn't sure if I reviewed everything. So, again, the hospital setting is an option for those couples, for those uh, expectant mothers who want to have the comfort of being in a medical environment that provides the surgical or operating room that may be a few feet away. And again, I'm not opposed to it, but I also just want to say that those who choose a hospital birth, make sure you choose a hospital that is baby and mother friendly and that they have those credentials and that the staff honors you as the laboring person and values you as the most important member of the team. It's also important to find out whether they allow a doula, they will honor your birth plan, whether they allow for early discharge, delayed cord clamping, what are their policies towards routine procedures, because most hospitals do follow routine procedures such as continuous monitoring, fetal monitoring, um, the routine IV fluids, and they may also introduce medication if you've been laboring for a very extensive amount of time. They may also want to routinely do an episiotomy, which is a artificially cutting the perineum or the vaginal area to allow for the baby to birth through easier. I'm not a fan of episiotomies unless there's an emergency and there's a need, like a cord around the neck and the heart is going down, then yes, or a huge baby. So routine procedures are done in the hospital setting, so you have to bear that in mind. And these interventions are not to be taken lightly. They can lead to some serious, long-lasting complications, and they may interfere with mother and baby bonding. So and emotional effects as well. So they're not to be taken lightly. So, just so you know, hospital labor birth settings are an option for women. So as birth center. Birth center settings, I'm not sure if we mentioned, they are more home like without the medical environment, so to speak, or less medicalized. Um, they do provide the opportunity for the laboring woman to invite family members. As I said before, you can also move around freely in a birth center setting, not as freely as you would at home, but yes, you can move around freely. You are also offered and encouraged to eat, drink, walk around. So there is some freedom in having a birth center setting, similar to a home birth, but not exactly, because of course you have more freedom at home. So I definitely embrace and endorse home birth as well as birth center as well as hospital, but more so home birth and birth center settings. I birthed my son at a birth center. Prior to me becoming a midwife and a home birth midwife, I was practicing in the medical field, but not as a midwife. So I definitely endorse birth center settings. I had a wonderful midwife and I had a wonderful labor birth experience. It was a celebratory, a celebratory and joy-filled experience for me. I had many family members present, and I was supported in a way that was respectful. Um, it was a very dignified labor birth. I was honored as a young woman, and they valued my decisions um, to have my baby on my belly immediately, to breastfeed immediately. They allowed for me to shower. They allowed for me to have incense burning, drumming present, um, and I had food and I drank and I walked and I did everything I needed to do and I changed positions many times. On my side, I was squatting, standing, um, on the birth ball. I sat on the birth chair for a little while, the stool, and I actually had my son in a squatting position on the bed. It was wonderful. And I think it took all but 12 hours. I'm not sure if I was there for all 12 hours, but I had a wonderful labor birth experience at a birth center in Manhattan. No longer there right now. They closed it down, unfortunately. So, birth center settings, I definitely endorse, of course, because I birthed at a birth center. So, one more thing I just want to say about hospital, birth center, and labor birth setting, it is totally your choice. The expectant mom and expectant dad or partner, your choice. And your choice, of course, is impacted by your references, your frame of reference, and whatever that is. And your frame of reference has been impacted by your cultural disposition, religious belief, your own traditions and values. So honor those, and trust your intuition. Whatever your comfort level is the choice you make. And we should provide you the option to make that choice and provide you the most evidence based information so that we can support you and encourage you to make the choice that is right for you.